Got the wrong girl there, buddy.
There's one picture, huh?
I was explaining, number one, my camera is not working on this laptop, so you won't see me as much as I'd like for you to. I was on last night. And number two, just to let everyone know, I wasn't the positive case in town hall.
The mystery continues.
Yeah, right. Hey, Dean.
We'll be able to track it down.
Yeah. As long as everybody's safe.
Yes, the individual is still not back to work, but is feeling okay. Never was hospitalized.
Good.
So we're very thankful for that. Hey, Tom.
All right, that's good.
We can see you, Barry, but you're muted.
How about now?
Ed, you're good.
Okay.
Dean and Tom. Okay, Tom, you're unmuted. Dean, you're muted. According to my clock, we're probably live now on Facebook. There may be a bit of a delay, a minute or so, but consider us live for all intent and purposes. Welcome, Jerry. Mr. Chair, we do have one last person from the presenting team signing on right now. So if we could take a moment till he gets signed on. Everyone, while we're waiting for that last member to join us, let me give you what's going on. Rob Merchant, who is the chair of our committee, has another commitment today, and so he is not going to be the chair. Eric Erickson is going to step into that position. I have not been able to get the camera to work on this laptop, and so I'm here, but you won't see me. I also won't be able to share screen, but I think that for the most part, Barry and his group, whenever it comes time to see the documents, the part of the presentation, he'll be able to share those with us.
Let's sit up, Linda, because we weren't thinking we were going to be doing that.
I think you can just, it's in there.
But we'll do it.
Well, and everyone does have the documents, so if that's the way we got to roll, that's the way we roll.
Okay.
Barry, are you hearing anything from Jeff Ackerman? Should we go ahead without him, or?
He was supposed to show up, but I would just move forward without him.
Okay, I see he's trying to call in, but it's for some reason it's he's not being successful. So we are at the appointed hour. If you want to go and start the meeting, Eric, we're ready.
Yes, ma'am. I've got 3:05 on my watch. Time to call the meeting to order. My name's Eric Erickson. For the chair, Rob Merchant. Is there a quorum?
Yes, sir, there is.
I see Eric Erickson, Richard Beasley, Tom Rhodes, Buddy Brown, 4 out of 5. So there's a quorum. And the public notice requirements, were those met?
They have been met, sir. The press was notified of the meeting 15 days in advance of the meeting, as well as the agenda with the supporting documents have been posted on our website in advance of the meeting also.
All right, thank you, Linda. First order of business is to approve the minutes from May 7th. Do I have a motion?
I motion we approve the minutes from May 7th.
Do I have a second?
Richard Beasley seconds.
And any discussion? If no discussion, I call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Hey,
Hey,
All opposed, nay. That motion carries 4-0. We've got the next order of business, which is a review of the new pavilion for Port Royal Sound Foundation. This group is seeking the final review approval. And I'd like to start with the applicant, the architect, Barry Taylor.
How would you like me to do this, Linda?
As I said, Barry, if you're having some technical difficulties, you would just probably present your narrative and tell us about your project.
Okay, well, the project is, looks like Jeff is done. The project is the addition to the existing Port Royal Sound Foundation site. It's an open air pavilion. It will have some ancillary spaces, which will include a small food prep area and toilet facilities and some minor store pavilion. The building basically sits on the same site as the existing that area that's out there, if you're familiar with the site. And then the adjacent spaces be in front of it. Then the space that has the existing office space right now would be relocated to another part of the site. And then there'll be some minor fenced areas right there that contain the existing.
Barry, if I could interrupt you for just a moment. I think that anyone who is not speaking, if they would please mute, because we're getting some feedback into the program. So if you're not going to have the floor, if you would mute. Go ahead, Barry.
That's basically it. We're going to try to keep the building's materials will basically match what's out there right now. The roof is a metal panel roof system. The siding will be a cypress siding and a cypress trim around it. And then some metal panels on the sides of the two ancillary buildings will match what's on the existing maritime facilities out there right now. And I'm sorry, we don't have this conference system we have here doesn't have a connection to our server, so we can't pull up the drawings.
I believe you're muted, Eric.
Mr. Taylor, were you going to present any kind of drawings?
We don't have the capacity on the system we're on right now to show drawings.
All right, so we have them in our packet. I don't see any three-dimensional perspectives. I just see the site plan, the elevations, and some of the existing buildings. Does anybody from the staff have any questions?
No, sir, I would be prepared to review the zoning, which is PUD, with you and give you some of the relevant points of that.
All right, well, let's listen to a staff report then.
Sounds good. So as Barry has presented, this is a new pavilion for out at the Port Royal Sound Foundation. The property is zoned PUD. Address is 310 Okatee Highway. Proposed building architecture is required to be reviewed by the Town of Port Royal Overlay Town Review Board prior to building permit application approvals. That's the language from the PUD. This PUD was written back whenever we had an overlay in the downtown, and it was called the traditional town overlay. And so it was based on that. You folks are the board that reviewed projects in that overlay and consequently have inherited the responsibility as this PUD moves forward. The PUD doesn't say a lot about, doesn't give us a lot of guidance, but the couple of sentences that I found, I shared with you. From the PUD, aesthetically, the complex should maintain a feeling of a bygone era in Beaufort. The character of a working wharf will be the focus of the design for the waterfront. Design of the buildings, mass, materials, compositions, and fenestration are to sensitively address their scale, context, and traditional waterfront usage relative to both the adjacent neighboring parcels and the adjacent Highway 170 corridor. This, in staff's opinion, the proposal conforms to the PUD standards with respect to height, setbacks, buffers, and parking standards. We've already been through that with the applicants. And we would suggest that the board members look at the package that the applicants have presented to us. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have. I also see, by the way, before I leave the issue, the town architect has signed on. Bill Harris is with us. So he is an extension of staff, of course.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Does the town architect, Bill Harris, want to say anything?
I think I'm unmuted. Am I unmuted now? You can hear me?
I can hear you, yes, sir.
I really don't have anything. I think it has a great coastal feel. It's probably a little more modern in the way some of it, not materials and not massing, but maybe the overall is maybe a little more modern than traditional, but I think it's a great feel. I think it goes with what's kind of happening out there. And I think the massing's nice. It's simple, and the materials are nice. I didn't really have much to pick on this time.
All right, does anybody have any questions for the town of Port Royal architect, Bill Harris? If not, we can open this up to discussion with the board members. Anybody want to go first?
So I'm the first picture. I'll just say that I went out and looked at the property. Looks like everything fits together nicely, and I have no concerns at all. The only concern I would ultimately have is kind benefit of the Port Royal Sound Foundation is the parking situation out there, and if there's any way to restripe or make that a little bit more easy to work with. That's not part of this discussion, but that's just a side comment.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Dean Moss, the Chairman of the Board of the Port Royal Sound Foundation,
Yes,
and I can address that question.
go right ahead.
Our landscape architect has communicated with SCDOT. That parking lot belongs to SCDOT. The road that loops around through it under the bridge and connects the boat ramp parking side to the Maritime Center parking side, that's a DOT road. DOT has a contract with Beaufort County, which gives Beaufort County the responsibility to kind of worry about things like striping and other things. We've been in contact with DOT and with Beaufort County, and we're working with them. If we straighten those parkings out, they're angular now. If they were made perpendicular, we'd probably fit about another 30 spaces into that space. And there's some other additional space that can be utilized. Additionally, the area behind where the facility is going to go will be available for overflow parking on our property for events. Can't really use that from a regulatory standpoint, but just a factor for you to be aware of. And I can answer any other questions anybody might have on the facility or what's going to be used for or anything like that.
Dean, could you tell us a little bit about what the facility would be used for? That would be helpful.
Sure. First and foremost, every year, up to this year, the foundation has had what it's called the Night on the Sound, which is our largest event. Brings in 300 plus people, normally a nationally recognized speaker. We've had Bob Ballard and others. We normally pitch a tent on that spot, a huge, big old tent. And so the first point of this particular facility is to eliminate the tent. It gives us the ability to do things in there like Night on the Sound. It's also a facility that we will be using for our educational programs. We will have audiovisual capability in there, and the architects are working to ensure that we have the ability to pretty much do anything we want to inside that space. If you noticed on the drawings, we have the ability to enclose it or unenclose it. And so the notion is that space can be utilized for ultimately for presentations. It can be utilized for all kinds of different things. It'll be ramped so you can get things up in there. If we wanted to have let's just say a furniture show or an art show or something else where we bring lots of people to that site. Additionally, we have every year, and again, this year is an exception, we have our annual STEAM Festival, which is science, technology, art, engineering, math festival, and we bring 1,000 people onto that site over 2 days, looking, mostly kids, looking at displays from all of our local technology folks. And that's a huge use for the building. We have regular out there almost constantly during the school year, or historically have, school groups coming out and touring the center, going for walks, getting their feet down in the pluff mud. And this gives us a space for them to be outside, out of the sun, out of the rain, and work on their projects and work with our staff. So it's a multi-purpose facility. I think the sky's the limit. Obviously, it's set up in such a way that it is available for weddings, and other kinds of events. The county has talked to us about using it as a meeting space or a gathering space. It is in the exact center of the county. It is south of the Broad, technically, but it's in Brian Flewelling's district, so I kind of say it's north of the Broad. But it is a central point in Beaufort County. And there is no other central point in Beaufort County where folks from both south of the Broad and north of the Broad can get together for a big meeting or a big event. So it's a needed facility, we believe. And as I said, the sky's the limit. We'll find out all the different uses it can be made to have as we go forward.
You're muted, Eric.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moss. Does any one of the other board members have anything to say?
I think it looks great, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a great facility over there.
I did have a couple of questions for Barry. Are we moving on to questions for Barry?
That'd be fine.
So the siding you mentioned is cypress. Is it going to be painted or is it left natural? You're muted, Barry.
We're probably going to use a very light semi-transparent stain, but we want it to be close to the gray that's out there now on the existing building, and the metal panels will match what's on the existing building as well.
Okay. There's a note I saw where you have a garage doors to close in inclement weather for the open spaces. Do you have any detail? What does that garage door look like? Is it an all glass?
Yeah, right now it's a glass panel that basically folds in half, and it actually provides a cover. So basically it'll fold and then it'll drop down like that. So basically it's a garage door. It's mostly glass.
It is mostly glass.
Yes.
One of my concerns really was just the amount of natural daylighting when the sliding barn doors were closed. It seems to be limited. So in inclement weather, where you still may have some daylight outside, this seems like there could be some more opportunities for additional daylighting, maybe a cow wall translucent kind of roof system or something like that. But I think that when you have everything opened up, you're in pretty good shape as far as daylight. Is that something that you've looked into?
Yeah, the panels, the garage door, I mean the barn doors that basically slide on the track, they have glass in them so that they'll provide some daylight, but about half of, once you close that space, about half of it will be a solid panel and the other half will be a fixed light. And
the other question I had was about the sliding barn doors. Is it wood? What is the material? I see what
they are
glass.
That's the siding.
So it would be cypress, a cypress overlay.
Cypress trim and cypress panels.
And then also the louvered, I found it, I kind of like the louvers, how they change direction up in the gable area. Is that is also cypress, and it's a louvered, so it's angled?
Yes.
And that's really just your opportunity to vent out the.
Right. Well, there's not going to be any. They'll have two large fans in the space, ceiling fans, but everything else will be natural convection. There's a small ridge vent that runs the full length of the pavilion at the top, which will aid for passive ventilation, and then the louvers on the end will also augment that.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I had. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, you're muted.
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I wondered about your narrative, Mr. Taylor. It says no air conditioning is planned for this facility. What is it?
But,
What do you mean by that?
there'll be no unnatural air or mechanical units that provide conditioned air. So all of the air that's provided will be generated by ceiling fans, movement by ceiling fans, and by natural convection.
What was the main reason for that?
Because it's mainly an outdoor pavilion, and the cost to condition that space will be fairly significant. And most of the time, the use of this space will be for passive uses. So the foundation decided that they didn't want to spend the money on a mechanical system.
So if it's raining out, you can close the facility to keep the rain out?
Yes, well, the overhangs will protect most of the pavilion, and then in some wind-driven conditions, you can close the sliding doors to prevent other air or moisture from coming into the building.
You have a lot of lighting planned. Does that stay on all night?
No, that would be only when the building is used after the sun goes down for whatever events they might have. The other way, the reason this is cited where it is based because it basically takes the footprint of what's out there now. And then we use the ancillary spaces, the toilet facilities and the catering or food prep area to kind of act as a shield from Highway 170 noise. So we tried to keep most of that kind of contained, so we could at least try to make some effort to protect highway noise from the pavilion.
All right, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to call for a motion. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, if I can get myself unmuted. I move that the application by Port Royal Sound Foundation be approved as submitted. I guess that's it.
Do I hear a second?
Yeah, this is Buddy. I'd second it.
Any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, I call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Hey,
Okay?
Hey,
All who oppose, say nay. Hearing none. 4-0, unanimous. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We have a,
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it very much.
I hear a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion?
I'm still unmuted. I make a motion to adjourn.
Hey, I'd second it.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.